So my name is Paul Daniels. I am from Milford Exempted Village Schools. We are located in Southwest Ohio. We have about 6,800 students, 6 elementary schools, 1 preschool, 1 comprehensive high school. We have an alternative high school and 1 junior high. So today I really wanted to share with the group some of the practices that we've changed using the ThoughtExchange platform. We've been users for about 5 years in the platform, and we have really honed in on some practices during the pandemic that have allowed us to stay connected with our community, our consumers, which is our parents, and our students, while continuing to operate in this different time. So the focuses for me today really are one of the ways that, focusing on increasing engagement using social media and ThoughtExchange, that natural pairing there. Looking at how we engage with our stakeholders through hybrid events and district practices. So some things that we had learned during the pandemic. And then also using ThoughtExchange with Fidelity, how it's made navigating the pandemic normal. When I say normal, I'm talking about those normal cyclical items that occur, such as your hiring season, closing out a school year, getting feedback on a bond or a levy from your stakeholders, specifically facts and information about a facility, and then making sure that when we are crafting policy, such as maybe a district calendar, we're getting that feedback as we normally would do that. So monthly, our superintendent, John Spicer, hosts social media events. And what we've noticed is more connection with our community. We're averaging somewhere between 1,500 to 2,000 views. Normally during a live event, John will have somewhere between 200 to 400 folks who are live. And then we are then seeing after the live event, as those views tick up, we're averaging about 1,500 to 2,000. We're utilizing the ThoughtExchange questions. We generally adapt those. We've been working out of the leadership realm. We've been working out of the pandemic questions, the COVID-19 bucket. We've been working out of the strategic bucket. And we really use those thoughts to generate our event. And here are some great examples from last year. As we were closing out the year, what do you need? This was an exchange for our students, for our staff, and our community. What do you need to finish the year strong? This one we recently did. We are 3 weeks into the 21-22 school year. Where should we focus our efforts as we continue our strong start to the year? And then we've used this one on occasion. What questions do you have for the superintendent and district leadership team? And for a little bit of comparison, we recently hosted one of our first in-person events, coffee chats at the local library. We had 7 attendees. So as you can see, generating the questions, the buzz around the social media event, pairing with ThoughtExchange, our reach into our community is exponentially higher. And that's thankfulness to the platform itself. So while it might be hard to get together through the pandemic, we've been able to increase our community engagement, utilizing social media channels and generating questions and items for feedback with ThoughtExchange. And we are big users of the bank of questions, and we do adapt those to maybe the current need or current focus of that month. So one of the questions we asked our families as we were wrapping up, our teachers, our community, and our students is, what would you like us to keep from the 2021 school year that is new from the pandemic? And one of our top asks was, we moved to virtual parent conferences and educational meetings. And what we found from our stakeholders is they would like an option. So we actually just ran our first set of parent conferences hybrid, meaning if you are a family that wanted to come in person, we were happy to welcome you and meet you in the building. But if you are a family that wanted to do that virtually, each teacher used a platform, had a holding room, and admitted parents to their conference time as that happened. We're also seeing, while we would love to have all of our educational meetings in person, we're seeing an increase in families asking for that to be done virtually during the day when it's convenient for them, or after school because they have other commitments. We also learned from our families that we were inconsistent in delivering our lessons and information on one platform. So that was a huge learning. We've now moved and added platforms K3. So K-12, we are now all single one learning management system. Our families also told us that there needed to be a balance between tech and traditional pedagogy that didn't rely on technology. There were times that it was very important during the school day not to be relying 100% on technology. Obviously, taking more breaks during the day for staff and students, and please do whatever you can to return students to school safely. And then finally, I just wanted to share a little bit about Fidelity. I think we were able to continue to connect with our community powerfully on short timelines because we had built the trust in the ThoughtExchange platform. So I tried to capture some examples here. We had a change in our high school principal. It was June. We needed to do that search. Our staff was gone. Our families were gone for the most part, and we were able to get a huge amount of feedback from all of our stakeholders on what they thought was an important things or qualities or needs from our new principal. We were able to do a 3-day turnaround on a ThoughtExchange for facility feedback. What opportunities do students lose out on because our facility is old and needs to be replaced? We were able to get school calendar feedback in November from staff and stakeholders without doing that face-to-face. And we always train new staff during new teacher orientation on the tool and how it can be used both in their classroom and how we use it as a district. So I really wanted to capture for you just some ways that we kind of have changed our practices or accelerated practices or buy-in from the community while still operating during a pandemic.